Hi guys, this is going to be a quick video and it's a response to a question that I got on one of my videos where I mentioned juicing. Leeder1g, I think is her name, Gail. Hi Gail. Asked a question about what I put in my juice and how much I use, and I thought that I would just create a little video where I tell you what I do so that if anybody else is interested they can hear it also. I can't get on camera right now. I'm a disaster, so I will just sit this in front of you for you to look at. It's the journal page that I've created a video of that I will be uploading either after this video or before this video. But, Gail, I've been juicing about a year now. Along with juicing and changing what I eat and how I exercise, at this point I've lost 80 pounds. This year I plan to finish losing the rest of it, which I don't have as much to lose now, but you know, winter time kind of slowed me down because I wasn't able to get out and exercise as much, but I did maintain the weight loss through eating and juicing. So I think it's a great thing to do for you or anybody else. And to answer your question, the juice that I do is called Mean Green, and it is the juice recipe that comes from the show Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, where Joe Cross did a little movie and told you his life story about how he lost weight and got off all medication and everything and fixed his health issues and all that kind of stuff just with food, which I am so totally a believer of. But I'm not going to push it on anybody else. I'm just going to share with you what I do, what I know. The way we juice is we have a Breville juicer, and it's the juicer that Joe uses in the video. And you can go to the website Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, and I'll link it below, and you can see his movie. If you don't have Netflix to watch it, you can watch it from his website, I believe. That movie changed my life, and it turned me around 180 degrees that from one day to the next. I'd already started eating a little differently a few weeks ahead of watching this movie, but when I saw this movie, I did a 180 degree turn. And that's when I started seeing major results. Along with the exercise. The exercise plays a big part, but I don't starve. I don't starve at all. I eat all the time. It's just what I eat and how I eat that made the difference, and the exercise. And bike riding is one of the best things for you. You lose inches more than you lose weight in bike riding, and that's all I care about really is you know, how I feel and my clothes and things like that. The weight, the number, it's just a number, and I'm having to overcome that psychological issue just like most women do. You see a number and you think it's too high. Well, I don't care if I weigh 1,000 pounds if I am the size I want to be and I feel good. So anyway, aside from that, we use the Breville juicer, and we juice enough juice for 2 days. So when I juice, my husband and I will each have a glass one day, and then we'll each have a glass the next day. We store it in a glass container, which is recommended, and the amount that we use to juice with is, we start with kale. Now, there's two ways to do kale. If you buy the bagged kale, I buy the bag from a store called Publix. I don't know what stores you shop at, where you are, but if you go to Publix, the bag is not very big. It's maybe, I don't know how to, I can't do it on the screen, but it's not huge, but I will use a whole bag. If I go to Whole Foods store in Nashville, the bag is bigger, I'll use that whole bag. So either bag I buy, I will use the whole entire bag. I don't use small bags. If they sell small bags, don't use small. Use the biggest one you can get. If I buy kale by the bunch, which is what I prefer to do because I feel like I get more juice out of the kale, because when you juice kale, you're not going to get a lot. It's going to be like, for all the kale you juice, you're only going to get a little bit. But it's such a superfood that the amount of juice you're getting out of that is more in nutrition than you can possibly eat, because eating it, you're eating the fiber, and the fiber keeps you from eating as much as you could eat because you get full. So juicing it gives you all the nutrition in a liquid form. So if I buy it in the bunch, I will, depending on the size of the bunch, if it's a huge bunch, I might just buy 2 big bunches and juice them. But if they're smaller, I'll do 3. You can't hurt yourself either way. 2, 3, 4, doesn't matter. That's a perfect amount. Don't do less than 2 though. I would definitely do at least 2 and 3 if they're small. I use 1 cucumber, the biggest one I can find. I use 4 stalks of celery, the whole thing. I don't take anything off. I just put the whole thing through. I use 1 lemon, and I quarter it and peel it. You don't want to stick the zest through, the peel through. You can. People have done it, but it makes it more zesty. And the juicer that I use is, it takes all the fiber out. None of the seeds get through. None of the peelings get through. Nothing like that. So you don't have to worry about that. I don't do smoothies. It's a juicer. So got the kale, we got the cucumber, we got the celery, we got the lemon. The apples, it depends on the size. They recommend 4 green apples, and I use green apples because the other apples are too sweet for me for this. It gives me the jitters. So green apples is a perfect blend for me. It's not too sweet, and it's sweet enough. I use 5 apples though, because the apples we get tend to range from, so big to so big. So to balance it out, I use 5. I quarter them and just stick them through. I don't seed them. I don't do anything. I don't take stems off. I do take the stickers from the store off. That's all I do. And ginger, they recommend an inch size. Sorry, my fingers are still messy. An inch size for, I think, 1 juicing, but I use like a whole, almost thumb size. I use a big chunk of ginger, like maybe that, like that. It just gives it more spice. For me, I like it, so I use it. You might experiment with starting off on a smaller piece if you're not sure, and then you can know that you can add to it later. So we got the kale, we got the celery, we got the cucumber, got the lemon, the apples, and the ginger. And I think that's it. And I just put it through, I run the juicer, I put it all through, and I usually start with the kale, and I do all the celery, the cucumber, and the lemons, and the ginger, and all that first, and then I do the apples. And usually by the time I get halfway through the apples, my container where the juice goes gets full, and I have to put it in my glass container, and then restart it back up. And it fills a glass container, that's so tall. I don't know how many ounces it is. Maybe I'll try to find out, but I doubt it says it. I don't think it says anything on the jar. But I run it all through, and I blend it all together, and I mix it up with a wood spoon or some sort of spoon or something. I just mix it all, make sure it's blended really good, and then I put my cap on, and it has a little strainer. And the only reason I use a strainer is because when you juice like that, you do get some foamy stuff, and I put the foam in my bottle too, because it will eventually turn juicy. But when you first start out, when I'm pouring it, it'll strain the foam away, and I usually drink. My glasses are not like a standard 8-ounce glass. They're like a 12-ounce glass. So I usually drink about 12 ounces one day, and then 12 ounces the next day. So yeah, I do mix it all together, and that's how I do it. And then I clean the juicer and start again. So I hope that helps. And if you have any more questions, I'm happy to answer them. And the recipe for that juice, if you want to verify or look at it yourself or see how he does it, because I think we varied it just a little bit, not much. I think by adding the apple and adding a little bit more ginger is how we varied it, because we're making basically 2 batches. But you can find the recipe on his website. When you go to Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, I think there's a link that takes you to Juicing with Joe or Reboot with Joe or something like that. And they have programs where you can actually do a reboot where you just juice and that's all you do. I have not done that. I have gone a little extreme with eating, not because I'm trying to be anything like a vegetarian or anything like that. I'm just trying to be healthier, and this is the way I'm choosing to do it right now. I do eat some meat every once in a while, but not as much as I used to. But I have not done the reboot. That is in reserve. When I get to a point where I feel like I'm sort of stagnant and I can't go any further, or I've done everything I can, and I haven't done everything I can. To this point, I still, I fudge every now and then, and so I know there's still stuff I can do to continue on my journey. But if I ever get to the point where I'm stuck, I may do a reboot. But, that's in the future, and that's down the road. But I'm just telling you, you can go find the recipe on his website. And if you can't find it on the website, you can definitely get it from the movie, because they make it in the movie. So, and you can juice anything, you can throw anything into it. I've thrown parsley into it before. I don't care to add that taste too much, but if you have leftover parsley from something, you can throw it in there. spinach. You can add spinach to it, and I don't think you taste much spinach. There are different things that will take on the flavor of whatever it is you're making. I think spinach is one of them, and it might be zucchini is another one. I really don't know. I'm not the professional, so don't quote me on it. Don't take me as a professional advisor, because I really am not sure. I'm just telling you what I've experienced. I've added different things into it, like if you have a leftover something that's raw, not cooked, raw, you can throw it in there, and it just gives you extra stuff. Like everything you put in there has something about it that works. Like the cucumber is really good for your skin, has psyllium or something like that in it, and I think celery is really good for it. And celery adds a little bit of the salty taste to it, so it balances out the sweet from the apple. The ginger adds the spice, and the lemon adds the little bit of the, I don't know, the punch. It's just, I don't know, it just works so well together, and it's so good. I love it. I actually crave it. And I have to juice today, in fact, and I think I'll probably go do that before I edit these videos. But I wanted to take a minute to tell you what I do, and encourage you to do it, to try it, and let me know if you like it. And thanks for asking the question and giving me the opportunity to share it with you. And I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.